I've always been a startup person wherever I've gone. I started programs at Tennessee Tech. I helped restart the Florida State program. I moved from there to Charlotte Sting, which was a new franchise in the first year in the league. I started that program. I left there and went to Miami and helped them start the Miami Soul. And then I left there and went to Washington, and the last place I was at was Atlanta, and that was a startup program also. So I think I've been a coach and a person that has always wanted to start or restart a program and to build it and to find the chemistry it takes to have a successful team. It was in the 7th grade that I really decided that I wanted to coach basketball. William Smith, he was the coach of the boys team at Waverly Belmont Junior High at that time, inspired me to move on to try to start teams for the girls.
She was a lady on the court and off the court, but she was a great competitor. She played softball, she played basketball, and she was a better golfer than you and I would ever think about it. She could outdrive us. You know, the lady was just a great competitor, and she didn't like the word no. She got a budget one year when she was working at Tennessee Tech, and they said, Marynell, we're going to get you a travel budget. We're going to double your budget. Well, how do you double zero? You know, and that's about what they gave her $100. And that was her first travel budget she ever had. And that's amazing. It was a club team. That's the way they started. And she started the program in what was known as the sweat box. It was Gym C of Memorial Gymnasium. And now if you could see Gym C, you know why we call it the sweat box. No windows, no air conditioning, and it's still the same. But you don't let things bother you that you can't control. You just take care of the things you can control. That's what she did to build that program.
Tennessee Tech under Marynell was as good as there was. It was in its infancy, but she had to promote it. I mean, you know, they had to almost raise money to pay officials. I don't know that they ever charged admission to the games because they begged for people to come, not, you know, made it a premium to get in. I was sports editor back in the 72 era of a student newspaper. They would write their own articles and bring it in, and we would publish what they had. That was the early standard in women's basketball on the collegiate level.
The way that I got there was through teaching. I was a professor, hired as a professor at Tennessee Tech. Little did they know that when I got there that I wanted to start a basketball team and a volleyball team and a tennis team. And we started all those things from scratch. So the way that I got there, I made pretty good grades in college, and I had some advisors and professors at Middle Tennessee that inspired me to move on.
A lot of people don't understand that Marynell was one of those true pioneers of what we consider to be modern day women's basketball. And no one knows that there wasn't a team. There was a club. She started it as a club team, but she took that club team to collegiate team, and she took that team into the top 10, always in the top 20, and was one of the most competitive women's basketball programs in the country in the 70s. That was in the midst of Title IX. There was an evolution and a development there. Pre-Title IX, the men's athletics, the good old boys didn't want anything to do with women's sports. So she had to kick in all of those barriers, and she was very good at it.
Marynell was a class lady. She still is, and she could recruit. She recruited. We went head to head with a lot of players recruiting, and she didn't have any problems recruiting young girls. And we got on each other's schedule, home and home, and then we would be in tournaments together, and we were competitors. I'm telling you, Marynell's a competitor.
I was at Tennessee Tech. I was there almost 20 years, and I felt like I had taken them as far as they could possibly go, or as far as I could possibly go with them. And I thought that, you know, maybe I should look at other places and see what was available. I was scared to death. When I left, I never had been out of the state of Tennessee to coach. I grew up in Nashville. I coached at Tennessee Tech for 20 years, and then all of a sudden I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. And you know, I really think that making that move definitely moved me in the right direction that I needed to go. I really wanted to have an opportunity to start or restart another program, and once that happened, I thought that you know, it really became a thing to do here in Tallahassee. I've been on an incredible run. If I had not left Tennessee Tech, I wouldn't have had the opportunities at Florida State. If I had not left Florida State, I wouldn't have had the opportunities in the WNBA. The WNBA also led me to helping coach the 2010 World Championships to a gold medal. I was also on the staff with the Olympic team in 2012 that went to London and won a gold medal. And I've had great response from all the players that I've ever worked with on how I try to inspire them to be the best they can be.
She expected us to act and do in a certain way, and I really respect that now, probably more than I did back when I played. But she was very good at X's and O's and had a lot of good help. But I was so impressed by the way she ran a program. And I think when you look at the great coaches out there now, they're experts at running the program. And I know in college it's a lot different than it is in high school, but it's a business. And she had that end of it clearly down at that time.
She is a legend. She is a historical figure. What she did with that program, the way she ran it, people respect it to this day. A lot of the things which I did, I learned from her as far as marketing and things you did for the program, what you did and how hard you worked. But she was very good in everything she did as far as with women's basketball. She was class.
Basketball has given me so many opportunities, not only on the floor and on the court, and the companionship that you have with the players, the relationships that you develop throughout the years. Not only all of that, but it's just been a game that has inspired me to do the best that I can do as a coach and as an administrator.